The house stood silent on Ocean Avenue, a stately Dutch colonial with blank windows that stared out at the world. But behind its charming facade, a horror had unfolded. It was November 13th, 1974, and the Long Island neighborhood of Amityville, New York, would be forever marked by tragedy. Inside the house, police officers made a gruesome discovery. 6 members of the DeFeo family lay dead in their beds, each shot execution style. Parents Ronald and Louise and their 4 children, Dawn, Allison, Mark, and John Matthew, were gone. The investigation quickly focused on the family's only surviving member, 23-year-old Ronald DeFeo Jr., known as Butch to his friends, who initially claimed a hitman had killed his family. But as police dug deeper, a darker truth emerged. On that fateful night of November 13th, Butch grabbed a .35 caliber rifle and methodically killed his entire family, his parents, 2 brothers, and 2 sisters. What makes this crime even more chilling is that none of the victims showed signs of struggle. They were all found face down in their beds, as if they never woke up. Even stranger, none of the neighbors reported hearing any gunshots. The gun was not silenced. The silence of the night was only broken by the occasional rustle of leaves or distant dog barks. After the murders, Butch calmly took a bath, got dressed, and went to work like it was any other day. Later that evening, he burst into his local bar, screaming that someone had killed his parents. Later, Butch's defense was, "I don't know what happened. It was like a dark force took over me. One moment, everything was normal, and the next, it felt as if I was no longer in control of my own actions. It was as if something sinister had taken hold of my mind and body, pushing me to do the unthinkable." His demeanor in court was cold and detached, further fueling the public's fascination with the case. The media painted him as a monster, but those who knew him saw a different side. Neighbors and acquaintances described a troubled young man with a history of drug use and erratic behavior. They recalled instances where Ronald Jr. would act out violently, seemingly without reason. His unpredictable nature made him a ticking time bomb in the eyes of many. He was known to have a volatile relationship with his father, often erupting in violent arguments. These confrontations would sometimes escalate to physical altercations, leaving the household in a constant state of tension. The family dynamic was strained, to say the least. Rumors of Ronald Jr.'s mental instability swirled, but what truly pushed him to commit such a horrific act remained a mystery. Some speculated that he suffered from undiagnosed mental health issues, while others believed that his drug use exacerbated his already fragile state of mind. Some whispered of dark forces at play within the house, influencing Ronald Jr.'s actions, but these claims remained unsubstantiated. The house itself became a character in the story, with its eerie presence adding to the chilling narrative. The stage was set for a haunting tale that would blur the lines between reality and the supernatural. The DeFeo family home, with its dark history and unsettling atmosphere, became the epicenter of countless theories and speculations. The truth, however, remained elusive, shrouded in mystery and fear. The DeFeo house stood empty for over a year after the murders. Then, in December 1975, a new family moved in, hoping to start fresh. George and Kathy Lutz, along with their 3 children, moved into 112 Ocean Avenue. They were filled with hope and anticipation, ready to embrace their new beginning. Attracted by the house's charm and surprisingly low price, the family was eager to start a new chapter in their lives. The house, with its picturesque exterior and spacious rooms, seemed like a dream come true. They were aware of the house's tragic history, but dismissed it as irrelevant. They thought that the past events had no bearing on their future, and that they could create a comfortable home despite the house's dark past. Little did they know that they were stepping into a nightmare. The house held secrets that were waiting to be uncovered, and the Lutz family was about to face unimaginable horrors. However, their dream home soon turned into a nightmare. Strange things began happening almost immediately. Cold spots, foul odors, and unexplained noises plagued the house, creating an atmosphere of unease. The family found themselves constantly on edge, unable to relax or feel safe in their own home. A priest who came to bless the house felt an icy presence and heard a deep voice telling him to get out. He later developed mysterious blisters on his hands. The Lutz family's experiences were even more terrifying. They saw swarms of flies in the middle of winter. Kathy felt unseen hands touching her. George would wake up at 3:15 every morning, the same time the DeFeo murder supposedly took place. He became moody and irritable, spending hours obsessing over the fireplace, where he claimed to see a demonic face in the flames. The children weren't spared either. The youngest, Missy, talked about an imaginary friend named Jody, a pig-like creature with glowing red eyes. The boys saw ghostly figures and heard unexplained noises. Objects moved on their own, and foul smells would suddenly appear and disappear. One of the most frightening incidents happened when George and Kathy claimed they levitated off their bed in the middle of the night. They also reported seeing cloven hoof prints in the snow outside, even though no animals had been near the house. George Lutz, once a skeptical and pragmatic man, found himself at the epicenter of the terrifying events. He experienced vivid nightmares, often waking up in a cold sweat, feeling an icy breath on his neck. The once loving father became withdrawn, irritable, and prone to sudden outbursts of anger. His physical appearance changed drastically, his weight dropped sharply, and his eyes were sunken and hollow. The haunting was taking its toll, transforming him into a shell of his former self. After just 28 days, the Lutz family couldn't take it anymore. They fled the house in terror, leaving behind all their belongings. They never returned to claim their stuff, too scared to set foot in the house again. Some paranormal investigators, like Ed and Lorraine Warren, back up their claims. The Warrens visited the house and said they felt an evil presence there. George Lutz even agreed to take a polygraph test to prove the truthfulness of his claims. To the astonishment of many, he passed, lending credibility to the family's terrifying ordeal. Despite widespread skepticism, the Lutz family's story continued to captivate and terrify, fueling the legend of the Amityville Horror. Years later, Daniel Lutz, one of Kathy's sons, shared his own version of events. He claimed that his stepfather George's interest in the occult might have opened the door to supernatural forces. According to Daniel, George practiced transcendental meditation and dabbled in other spiritual practices. Adding to the mystery are local legends about the land itself. Some say the property was once used by Native Americans to house the sick and dying. Others claim a Salem, which named John Ketchum once lived there, practicing dark magic. While these stories are difficult to prove, they add another layer of creepiness to the Amityville tale. The Amityville Horror has been the subject of intense debate and scrutiny since the story first made headlines. Skeptics argue that the Lutz family fabricated or exaggerated their experiences, motivated by financial gain from book and movie deals. Others maintain that the evidence, including the Lutz's personal accounts, the testimony of witnesses like Father Pecoraro, and the unexplained phenomena reported by paranormal investigators, suggests a genuine haunting. The debate continues to rage, leaving the truth behind the Amityville Horror shrouded in mystery. Despite the passage of time, the Amityville Horror continues to fascinate and frighten. The image of the house with its distinctive quarter-moon windows has become synonymous with paranormal activity, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of the ordinary. Whether a true story of demonic possession or a cleverly crafted hoax, the legend of the Amityville Horror has left an undeniable mark on popular culture. It serves as a cautionary tale, a chilling reminder that some doors are best left unopened and some houses are best left undisturbed.